30 minutes are flying by. I mean, you get rolling, you know.
Yeah. But yeah, Bob, he's something else. These guys,
Big Bad Bob.
but yeah, uh, yeah. So can we talk about Toby?
Well, you can say anything about Toby. What are you talking about, man? I don't want to spend 2 hours talking about this the toe.
We gonna talk about toe for 2 hours?
I mean, what do you want to know about? I mean, you want the hospital stories, which are funny. You want
Oh God, let's
after
hear it.
anything
Yeah.
after the hospital stories is just ain't really that
Yeah.
funny.
What? How'd it go down?
We want how it went down, or do you want the
Yeah.
story
Well,
from
yeah.
the
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 story. Yeah.
hospital, or
Yeah.
do you want?
Yeah. The story from the hospital. How'd that go
Oh,
down?
so you went from the minute to the hospital.
Well,
Okay,
whatever you got. That's good on it.
we'll show the boring stuff about how it got done, because I mean, how in fact, because it ain't funny. But I go to the ER second time. It came bone infection, pretty bad. So here's where the funny part starts. They hooked me up 2 IVs, feeding me stuff. Then that's when they're going to, after take X-rays, they know it's bad enough to send me down to Louisville Baptist. See, so I waited about 2 hours to get to bed there. Rode the ambulance down there, but the hospital here put a diaper over the foot and wrapped it up.
What?
A diaper over it. So I'm going, rode the ambulance all the way down there, get in the room, get admitted. They come to look at the foot. The foot surgeon looked at us and said, "What the hell is this?" He's like, "Who the hell done this? What the hell?" I was like, "I know." At first, he looks at it and I kind of tell him, they wrapped it, they put a diaper over it and they wrapped it. And he said, "What the hell was it? Who the hell done this?" Which I'm sitting there inside laughing, but I'm just trying to think
Yeah.
of what he said. Takes it off. He looks at it and says, "Well, big toe's gone." He said, "You may lose your foot, you may lose your other toe." I was like, "Oh, okay, I knew the toe was gone. I mean, I didn't want to say the toe anyway." So we
You didn't
go
want to
up.
save the toe.
No, I knew it was gone. It's the way it looked.
Did they give it back to you? I gotta ask that.
Now you want to hear the story about that?
Yes.
We're going to jump ahead here, but what happened
Well, we can get to it. Go ahead and just tell
pre-op?
me what you're saying.
Pre-op, before I go back in for the first surgery, because I had a cleanup surgery after. They bring in a thing, and they ask you, this may seem kind of odd, but after we amputate it, do you want to keep your toe? I was like, what? I looked at him, what are you talking about? He said, you wouldn't believe this. The surgeons and people in opera, he said, people down here will have stuff removed from them, like a rod or a rib or anything, and they will keep it, take it home with them. I said, I don't want that damn toe. I said, throw it in the river if you wanted to. So I had to sign it that they can dispose of it.
Well, dang it, man! I wish you'd talk to me. I got a friend that could have made you a nice necklace out of that.
Oh, dude, it'd been too far decomposed. I'd had to put that on ice. I'd have to keep for it to even. That thing would rotten out in no time.
No, I'm talking about the bone itself. But my friend does. He does human bone.
Yeah, but
stuff.
it was already microinfected. Because I mean,
okay.
Even if I kept it, if I did keep it, I could have touched it. It was a cut, and I'd have been. The infection would have been right back through my system again. But first night down there, they're wanting to. So he says that. So now they're going to hook me up IV, try to get it started on the infection, get the infection out of there, keep it from spreading, save my foot, save my other toe. Come in there and they're feeding me this nitro stuff that help speed up your heart to get the infection get going. I take about 4 cups of those. Yeah, I think it's first night, second night. Now the Jackie Chan looking nurse came in there. Now this was after I had 4 of them. He could have said, he just gave me, I'm taking them down. I was like, a little bit strong. He said, oh, you can mix it up a little bit if you want to. I was like, oh, I've already drunk 4 of them like that. Now you're going to just tell me I could actually mix it up, not just you do that and we chug it down. So I'm in there hooked up they took so much blood from me and hooked me with so much medicine, it stopped my bowel movement for days because they're trying to get all that infection stuff out of there. So they took vials of blood. I don't know how many vials of blood every so often to come, and then they'd stick me with shots to make sure everything was going good. It was first few days until I got used to it was hell. Uh,
Well, it seemed like you were in there for what, 2 weeks?
a week. I was in there for a week
Okay.
because they were hooking me with IVs to. Well, go back to pre-op before I forget. I still had. Now this is surgery days, like 3 or 4 days after. And I still had my IVs from out here at the ER. Yeah,
What?
yeah. They never took them out. I'm going to the pre-op for the first surgery. They look at me. I said, "Man, I still have these 2 IVs." Said, what the hell you have that in there for? I was like, I don't know. I thought it was a little weird. They never took them out, so they took them out in the pre-op. Stuck a big old IV in my hand.
Wow.
So yeah, go through surgery and come out, and I'm think I'm okay. We'll back to the room. In this elevator, he thought the thing wasn't going to make it up. Shaking all that old freight over the older one. This was on the older side of the hospital.
Which one was that? At
Louisville
Baptist?
Baptist East. Yeah. So get back after the first surgery. Got back there. So I didn't right then. At then I didn't know I was going to have to go back in for a cleanup surgery. I thought I was done, sewed up, and everything. Which if I didn't have infection, that's what had happened. But so I'm all wrapped up with foot and everything. They gave me the boot. Well, not this, but they stole my other boot. But or no, they never brought it back to me. But I didn't. I thought I was going to be there a day or two and leave because surgery.
Yeah.
Nurse, I said, nah, get up there. I think I can try to walk on it. And the nurse's station just halfway down from my room, so I didn't walk. But I walked down there and walked around, came back. I didn't know. I thought I was going home a few days. The doctor came about 2 hours after and said, I don't want you walking on that foot. He didn't know I was already walking on it. He said, you walk on the heel, your heel, no pressure on it, no nothing. I was like, well, okay. Had that boot. He came in and rewrapped it. Well, whoever wrapped it stole the first boot from me, never brought it back. So he comes back and he says, I had no boot. I was like, well, he took it.
He
Whoever the
took
nurse was, took it, and never brought it back. He said, oh, I'll fix that. So I had that boot, had to walk on it. Uh, which became a month and a half after I left the hospital, a month and a half later. But yeah, I was on a diet plan. Dietitian had me a certain plan, what I certain eat in there, because he didn't want, oh, it was a week of hell.
So, they
Uh,
just took the one toe off.
yeah, just one toe. They saved the other toe and saved the infection from spreading. But the first one was it got in the joint. Once it gets in the joints, it becomes micro, and that's why they had me on so much medicine, because if they didn't, if it's in the bone like that, then it could spread and not know it.
So, from like wearing steel toe or something all the time, or what?
It was just it became a callus that I've got neuropathy of the feet, which
Yeah.
you can't really feel. And just I bought some boots that were on discount that they had a part. The way the boot set was just a little an angle, just enough an angle for that toe
To rub
where it
up
set on
against.
rub and pound. I mean, it was like a pounding and a rubbing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of like sandpaper rubbing on it. I didn't know anything about it. Didn't. I mean, I looked. I thought I didn't know I was just callousing up or anything. I just thought it was just sweaty feet or whatever until the callus blister part opened up. I was like, ooh, it's already deep in, and by that time, there's nothing you can do. I mean, really.
So,
I thought it was, but it was too far.
did you? So, do you have what they call? What is it? They call? Is it phantom? Is that what it called? Phantom joint or something? Where you still feel
Oh, I can still feel it. Well,
like it's still there.
I can still. Here's the weird part about it is, like right now, I can. My tendon to that point is still there. So you're always going to feel like that toe is there. Like I can move right now, and my foot will feel like the toe is there, but there ain't no toe there. See, that's what you feel.
That's what I'm
Like
saying.
your tendon. I mean,
Huh.
yeah, if I'm walking and everything, I can still like you can still think it's there, but it's not there. You know what I'm saying? So it's.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll get you. I mean, it will. Like if I raise my foot or anything, it still want to raise that because I still have that tendon to where
Yeah.
so you still want to raise, but it ain't.
Huh. Yeah. My friend Chris, he had a guy because he works in a funeral home. Guy had his foot cut off, and he brought the foot, and he said, "Can you embalm that and hold on to it until until I die, and then put it in the casket with me?" So he's got. I don't know if that guy's dead yet, but last I checked, he still had that thing in a jar,
Oh
embalmed,
God.
waiting for that guy. Waiting for that
Yeah,
guy.
I went when I first had it. They got X-rays and everything and said it wasn't to the bone. I would have sent me right then, but yeah, they couldn't have done anything with it either way. But I'm just glad when I went down there, I had an infection doctor and 2 or 3
Well,
podiatrists. I mean, I had everybody.
they give you the toe when you here's your
They would
toe.
have, yeah. If I would have said, "Yeah, I want that toe. Can you put it on ice? I'll take it home with me." They would have.
Well,
I mean,
well,
that's
that's
what they
good.
told me. They said, "Man, you wouldn't be surprised. People had rods taken out, ribs taken out,
What's his
bones taken
name?
out."
What's his name? Longest. Uh, oh darn it! What can I think? He cut his fingers off, and they're in his freezer still to this day. Yeah, he stuck his fingers in a concrete mixer. Blaine Longest. He had his fingers cut off. He's the tips of them are cut off. He's like, yeah, they're in my freezer. I didn't know what the hell to do with them. I just stuck them in there. I was like, what?
Yeah, but getting back to that, yeah, I about the week before it started getting bad, not bad foot bad, but started affecting my body because it was
Infection.
infection started getting, you know, bad, not bad to the point, but I could tell which way my body was feeling was getting bad, and I took my foot shoe off, and I was like,
Whew.
yeah, it's about time to go because it got worse, and that's when I went from just that part to went through my toe and started to spread up my foot. The infection was, and I was like, gotta go.
Well, what are they going to do with your government job now?
Well, he still says I can do it. I'm going to go and try and do it.
You still going to ride? Oh, boy.
I got some orthopedic shoes. I got my carbon fiber insole. So doc didn't say I couldn't do it. We'll wait and see. I mean, it ain't. I think I'll be all right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's. I mean, with that stuff, I'll be all right. It it's not the constant pound. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's. I mean, once it happens, like right now, I can
Couldn't
walk and take care
you
of it.
should have done it through the winter so that you wouldn't have to be out there in that cold deal.
Well, I tell you what, dude. Actually, I'm glad I've been walking and doing as good as I am. I'm actually ahead of schedule because they said, really, because I had flesh, bone, and amputation. He said it ain't 6 months probably minimum before you even, feeling like you're getting back.
Oh wow.
So I'm 3 months ahead of that, 2, 3 months ahead of that.
When you going? So you know when you're going back?
Well, I don't know for sure yet. I
Oh.
mean, he has to clear me, so I got to get them boots,
Yeah.
ortho boots, before you're going to even go try to clear me. Then
Boy, that's
after
gonna
that,
be
it'll be
fun.
time. I mean, So I mean, as far as I know, it's going good. I mean, all clear and all good.
Well,
Yeah, I had to wait. Well, I mean, and it's one of those that if I didn't wait for it to fuse together, like for a month and a half, not walking on all that stuff, it'd be way worse than what it is because all that stuff wouldn't heal together or
yeah.
fuse together, and you'd be just chasing your tail on it. But he's backed me up, kept pushing me back to make sure he wanted me to get 100%. He
Yeah.
didn't want me to throw
What was
70, 80%.
You said they saved the other one. How bad a shape was it in?
They didn't know by the time how far that infection had spread over to that toe
Oh, I see.
because
I
it
see.
went through the toe. The way it was
Yeah.
looking, just
Yeah.
based on the look of it, they
Yeah.
thought it was in that other toe, but it
Oh.
ended up either not being it or the infection, bone part of the infection didn't spread over that far. He never told me.
Gosh. Yeah, I just know that one day you were
Yeah,
gone. One
dude,
day gone.
if it's getting bad by a couple weeks, it would have been, it might have been life threatening. I mean, real bad life threatening.
Well, I remember I
Because then
said
I had
to
to run pick line after that.
yeah, because I said to Randa, I was like, we'll have to go down there to see Fields. He's in the hospital. She goes, you really want to see him in a hospital gown?
Oh yeah, you would have seen me. Oh yeah, the hospital underwear and everything. My baths with them. Oh yeah, I mean you'd have loved it.
Oh, I bet. I bet.
As soon as they said I could take it home, I walked out with it too.
With what? The
Hospital
gown?
gown on. Yeah, they wheeled
Oh
me out
my
of the wheelchair.
god.
So you take it home and say, well, yeah, you guys like, okay, I'm going.
Well, it's like I was telling Bob, went in there for that colonoscopy, man, you know, and they rolled me in. I told Randa the night before, I was like, you're gonna have to help me shave my butt crack or something, because I'm kind of embarrassed by this, We get in there, and the guy comes out, the nurse comes out, it's a guy. She goes, see, he don't care, he understands. Rolls me back there, and then all of a sudden there's 6 beautiful blonde college girls in there with notepads. I'm like, oh shit. And the other nurse comes up to me and goes, good night. And that's when I passed out.
Oh yeah, when I was,
Yeah.
dude, man, I was in there in surgery. I was like, of course, that table's closed. I was like, I ain't gonna wake up about halfway through this. There's like, no, he's like, God, no. I mean, we'll have you out in no time. Next thing I know, after he about said, I was waking back. I was like, whoa,
It's gone.
yeah, I mean, you're like, whoa, was I asleep?
Yeah. The only other time like that is when I had my wisdom teeth taken out, and I woke up in my living room and I was going, how in the hell did I get to my living room? Oh, you walked here, and you're like, oh shit, what else did I do? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, didn't know what to call for.
Oh yeah, man. By the time before I went, it was getting bad. I mean, you could tell when you're walking that the foot was getting bad, but didn't know it was that bad until I took that Monday morning, took it off. I was like, yeah, I think I need to go.
Oh man. Well, my feet are so calloused, I can't feel when I step on stuff.
Yeah, you gotta. I'm just saying, you need to actually seriously watch that because
Yeah.
you never know.
Are you diabetic?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
well, I didn't know it either until they diagnosed me. Wasn't it?
I'm sorry.
No. I mean, hey,
Was that before the toe you found out you were diabetic, or after?
well, I had a feeling going in that I was after they said it, but I wasn't. I mean, never being What I'm saying, diagnosed as
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Oh man. But you don't
Once they
have
said,
you don't have to take insulin
oh
or
yeah,
anything.
right
You
now I
do?
do. Yeah,
Oh shit.
because of the it's help
Yeah.
foot.
Yeah. Okay. I was like, oh.
I mean, I ain't one of those that's insulin deficient where I have to take shots every hour on the hour or anything. But
Yeah. God, that used to traumatize me watching them when I was a kid. The ones in school that were
I'll tell you what's
diabetic.
worse, and I'll speak. The ones they have now where it's dialed up.
Yeah.
Now they wanted me to test out where you have to syringe it yourself. That's a whole nother story than having it pre-dialed because all you got to do is it's
Yeah.
already
Yeah.
now. If
Yeah.
you have to
Those are.
do the syringe, that's a little different story.
But yeah,
if
that's
you
what
had
I'm
to do it.
talking about. When we was in school and stuff, and those kids that were diabetic, and they'd be like, "Well,
Yeah.
you know, you know, yeah, couldn't do it. Could not do it."
It ain't that bad. The pre-dilated ones, pins aren't bad. Now the other
Yeah,
ones,
because I know people that, it comes in the mail or whatever.
because if you have to, the other way, you have to make sure you get it in there without bending the needle. Then you got to syringe it out, see how much
Yeah.
you do have. Then you got to make sure that needle ain't bent.
Yeah, and then pre-dial deals.
You got to pop that needle off. It's a lot easier because doing everything than the syringe. So yeah, I'm a flesh wound victim, amputee. I mean, diabetic. I mean,
I'm sorry, not trying to laugh about, but
oh,
it's
it
just
ain't.
the way you said it. Like it's like them guys who say, I knew a guy. Everybody was going on and on about how, man, I tell you, I couldn't imagine losing my legs in service, and he didn't lose his legs in the service. He lost them. He's diabetic, like.
Well, you got the diabetics who lose it because they just straight diabetic. I mean, if you're more aware of it, you know.
Yeah, but
But then there's
I wouldn't want to
flesh
be
wound
one.
and bone.
Yeah, I
That's
wouldn't.
whole different
Yeah,
than that.
but I wouldn't want to be one of these guys that, well, took off my legs, took off my right arm, and my left's getting ready to go too. You
Well, let me
know,
tell you something.
I couldn't do it.
There's a moment down there when I was like, and they said, "Well, you may lose your foot." I'm sitting there. I sat there and thought, well, I mean, it's life or death. I mean, you're going to sit there
Yeah,
and say you want to live. I mean, if they can't do it, you're going to sit there and. I mean, I could have went in there and they go in and uh, remove that toe, and they could have kept saying, "Uh-oh," and it went further and further. And well, we got to take half your foot off, or something like that, you know. So,
well, we were talking about Robert Smothers. That's what I heard. He said, "I'm keeping this leg." Like it was.
oh, I've heard stories of people where it's that bad, but man, you get to a point though, if it gets that bad, you know it,
Yeah,
because I mean, it's going to a affect your system,
yeah.
or b
Your
you're going
mind is
to
not
walk,
there
or you're
either.
going to walk. I mean, you're going to.
Well, man, I had such an infection. I had from my wrist all the way to my elbows cut out. Um, in that car accident, and they sutured me up on both of them. And they said, because I laid for 8 hours in the emergency room like this, just bleeding.
Whew,
And the other doctor come in and was like, "What time was that, Reg?" And I told him. He goes, "Oh." Walked out in the hall and he goes, "You know he could get gangrene from this, from laying there like that, you know." And I'd have to go in there all the time get antibiotics to deal with the staph infection that would rise up every so often, you know. But it's been
yeah.
years now. It ain't happened, but used to. I'd start itching all the time and getting.
That's why I was on PIC line for 6 weeks, so they had to get that infection out of there. I mean,
Yeah, it's insane. Well, you gotta be careful with that stuff too. That antibiotics. My
mhm.
daughter died of it. Like, I mean, they brought her back through it, but it turned her septic. Yeah, the antibiotics they put her on turned her body septic. And it was from wisdom teeth. She had her wisdom teeth cut out, and they put her on antibiotics, and it somehow turned it. She's like, something ain't right. Went to the doctor, and they said, "Oh gosh, you're septic," you know. So yeah, it's
Yeah,
crazy. And I would have never thought antibiotics would be like, you
oh
know,
yeah, you gotta read some of that stuff, because the highest stuff dosage I was on, if you get reading it, it's,
oh god,
I mean, yeah, the one I was on, you had to take it. It was timed where you can only take it so. Well, I mean, they're both timed, but the one was IV, which it just ran on its own. But the one I had to stick in the PIC line, I had to do it so many minutes at a time. So if it was too quick, it was bad for you. If it's too long, I mean, it was bad for you. So you could be a little,
God,
little off, but you couldn't be, like 5 minutes or 10 minutes off. Yeah, and then you had the IV. You had to let it get warm because if it's cold, it'd take longer to drain out.
hmm. Yeah.
Is it
So
working, Doc? I guess. I guess. He said I had no blood infection in the bloodstream anymore.
I can only imagine, man.
Yeah, you'll lay there, man. I'm telling you. I was sitting there, laying there. I was like, you got to do what you got to do. I mean,
Well, I
I
mean we
mean,
could always got you a wooden foot if it all came down to
I
it.
don't want to lose my. Well, I mean, geez, I mean, it'd be sadistic like that.
Will Will was like, "Well, I was waiting to see how they were going to get him to the football games to make sure that worked out." What was your record?
I was up to 140 or something like that.
140.
140, 140 something, I think. I don't know.
So how much money does that end up being? What is it? $6 a game?
Well, it used to be $3 or $4, so you got to save some there for a first start to go with. So
Oh,
yeah, it was six here. I don't know for how long.
so six times what? 140. Or well, probably less than that then. Probably let's say half of that, right? Would be six, and the other half would be three. Still a lot of money.
That ain't too bad. I mean, in the long run of things.
Well, yeah, but still. I mean, we had those season passes when I was younger. My Dad, they'd give it to us for, you know.
We had it for a few years, but it just never meant any. I mean,
Yeah, and then they'd argue with you, be like, "This game doesn't count on the season pass." You're like, "What?
kiss
What do
my
you-
ass, woman. I'm gonna hear his way.
What do you mean this ain't part of that?" You know?
$18 for a season pass, and I can't come in here. No, you got to use it for that. Well, take it.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Golly, it used to be a thing though, man. Go to games and everything. 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna take you to the game. Call me when you're done. I guess.
Yeah, they just drop you off and you watch the game.
Well, back then, man, it's $3. Now it's $6.
Yeah.
$6?
Yeah.
$3 for a drink.
Or $10, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then I remember when people were throwing a fit when bottled water was $1. $1! I could get it out of the fountain, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now you go to some event and they're, you know, what, $7, $8 or something for a bottle of water.
It's a high
Nobody
pristine.
cares.
It ain't that Lick Creek water or that Pluto water. It's
now come on.
pristine water.
No, I don't know. Still tastes like, I don't know.
I don't know. They call
Bleach
it
to
mineral
me.
water. Yeah, mineral water stuff. It ain't.
But yeah. Talking about getting dropped off when we had kids being dropped off at the pool back in the day, you know, that kind of thing.
What pool? No.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hell, he's gonna freak out about the pool here.
Yeah. They drop us off there and we'd be there all day long, man. Oh, James Blackgrave walking around.
Drive by the pool and see the lifeguards. Hey.
Yep.
Well, these people complain about the pool. How many people's actually going? It's like how many people's actually going to be at the pool?
Nobody.
You know? Nobody.
I mean, well,
now,
maybe the first year.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be it'd end up the same way because you know.
Well, they talk about that. You know, it's sort of like over there at the bowling alley. You know, everybody there ain't nothing to do around here, and then there ain't nobody there.
Yeah.
You know,
it's like you have Big Splash. Who's gonna go to a little pool in town? You got Big Splash just down the road. You know.
Which is what? How much is it? The Big Splash? It ain't very much. I mean, I'd say it ain't very much. It's not that bad. It wasn't. Was it like $15 or something like that?
Skinny dipping may be free though.
Yeah. Better be careful. I don't know anywhere that you would skinny dip around here that it wouldn't be contaminated anymore.
Yeah, that's what gets me. I mean, but there's nothing really. I wish there was something, a building or something where people would just go hang out. Not, I mean, like kids, like an activity like a YMCA, something where, you know, you can get.
Well, even that wouldn't last long. The gym.
Oh yeah, you put a gym in there, yeah.
Yeah. They ain't doing the free gym at Paoli anymore, like they used to.
What?
Yeah, they ain't doing the free lifting weights. I was like, dang it, man. I was like, I'm gonna have to get a treadmill for my own house because I ain't paying for a gym membership. For one, I ain't doing that. I ain't paying for a membership, and I sure the heck ain't gonna go in public because I'm embarrassed as it is walking. So I can only imagine what I'd look like on a treadmill in front of people. So I'm like,
oh heck, put it on high gear and start running.
Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, you go there. Them guys over there just pumping iron and taking pictures of them themselves, posting it on Facebook. Yeah. Okay, bud, enjoy.
I can bench 250 pounds. Yeah, okay. I mean,
what's that got to do with anything? Yeah. I never had a six-pack. I could outlift just about anybody, man. In fact, I actually even broke some of those records. But during that time, Conley was in school, and he was Mr. You know, so there was just it didn't matter if I broke the record or not. He was he was going to break it even more. So there was no point. But yeah, God, I could outlive, but I would never have the body for what these other guys were gonna
Oh, you
have.
need the Hulk Hogan body over there.
Oh yeah, brother. Yeah.
Brother.
Or uh, Ric Flair type of looking thing.
Well, if you want that old 70-year-old saggy
Yeah.
bottom, belly, and all that, go right ahead, man.
Yeah.
Old Flair.
God, we're at a 30 minutes again.
30 minutes?
Well, we'll cut this and then we'll do another one later on sometime. But well, it was good having you.
It was good having this, I guess. I mean, try to bring your ratings up on this big old shindig you got here.
Yeah.
It's mild and more mannered than we'd get to.
Well, like I'll keep this on for a minute before I do. Brenda said last night she watched part of that I had, and she goes, "You need Jason on there. Need Jason on there." I was like, "I know."
I'm a lot more
know.
calm, cool, and collective than I can be, so don't feel bad.